今日のあまり大事ではない話 is about daiji. Now, this does not mean, as you may guess from the kanji above me, big letters. Remember that just because you know the meaning of every individual kanji in a word does not mean you actually know the meaning of that word.
The Japanese government thanks you for your interest in kanji. Please remember that kanji are not pictograms. Do not use kanji before operating heavy machinery. Side effects of kanji study include hand cramping, depression, and a sudden realization that phonetic alphabets are not mandatory, which may cause bliss or a loss of sense of self. Ask your embassy if kanji are right for you.
Rather, daiji refers to replacement characters for the numbers 1 through 10. Why do you need these? Well, I'm sure many of you know the character 1, and many of you probably think it's really great. After all, it's simple, right? Simple kanji equal good. Well, actually, no, this kanji is trash because it is too simple. It's just a straight line. And because 2 is 2 straight lines, 3 is 3 straight lines, 7 is a straight line with a line down below it, and 10 is a line with a line through it, if you write me a check, quick pause. A check is a thing that we used to use to transfer money to each other, where I would write, I owe you this much money, and then you would take it to the bank and get the money. With that context established, if you write me a check for ichiman en, and I think, you know what, I'd like juman en, I can just write a tiny little line there and get the money. On the other hand, if I send you a bill for juman en, and you think, I'd rather pay ichiman en, you can just maybe scribble out that dash. Or then maybe add 2 more lines to make it a bit more believable. Daiji fixed this issue by being basically more difficult characters which resemble each other less and therefore prevent fraud. They've been in use since at least the 8th century, and the big ones are this for number 1, this for number 2, you can definitely see the 2 in there, this for number 3, yes, this is the kanji for the verb mairu, as in mairimasu, the humble form of go, and it's got 1, 2, 3 at the bottom, and then this is the big one for 10, and yeah, that's actually the kanji for hiro, so if you want to be fancy, you can write jue no hirota like this. Don't actually do that though. There are daiji for the rest of the characters, but obviously they're less relevant as the rest of the characters are less easy to forge. And indeed, these can even be useful for writing numbers over 10, as you might not know, but there actually are kanji for like 20 and 30. They're not on the Joyo kanji list, but they exist, and they're clearly easy enough to change and make fraud as well. So writing niju or sanju using these daiji can be helpful there as well. These are not used in most cases. You don't use them for writing a phone number on a sign or anything like that, but you will see them here and there throughout Japan, even if you don't work at a bank. For instance, they do appear on some Japanese currency, and I'm very much dating myself with this reference, but pretty famously they appeared on the Mako reactors throughout Final Fantasy VII. And though while it is cool to know about these, and maybe even learn to write them for a sense of self-satisfaction, I do stress that do not use these in writing unless, again, you're in a bank. People will just think you're weird, and that would be a mondai. I tried.